One of the big things that you guys, if you don't know who I am, my name is Jakejames Lugo. I've been in the industry doing content about video games for over 11 years now at this point. As of January, I hit my 11-year mark. I love games. I love talking about them. I love reviewing them. All types of games, whether they're AAA, AA, single A, or indie games, which is what IWOCon is all about. And it's, again, yeah, thank you guys for all the congratulations. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've been in here, man, that's like, again, 11 years just constantly making stuff about games, talking about them and all this stuff. But anyway, the reason why you guys brought me on here, why IWOCon brought me in here, is because I love reviews. I love reviewing games of all types. And one of the big things that is really interesting to note for people that do a lot of reviews of games, okay, especially when you do a lot of stuff that's like, you know, a lot of different types of games, you know, is you start to notice a lot of differences, a lot of like nuances and nuance differences between stuff that you see in retail, like AAA games, and stuff like indie, which sometimes get retail releases, but also at the same time, most of the time at least, gets digital releases. And it's kind of cool to see little things like that, to notice it as things go on, which is cool. So anyway, let me go to my main file, because what I'm going to showcase to you guys, where is it? It's fortunate, this fortunate, okay, yeah. One of the things that I want to kind of, you know, get into, and I'm going to showcase to you guys, is some of the things that I've noticed in certain indie games that are really creative, really awesome, and give you guys some insight when it comes to me reviewing games, you know, specifically indie games, and my thought process behind it. Because not only do I think this is going to benefit a lot of the indie developers out there, a lot of you out there that are putting in this work trying to make games for all different types of platforms, whether it's PC, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation Network, Xbox Live, Arcade, whatever, okay? Some of the stuff that you could obviously listen to and think about when it comes to your games getting reviewed and your games, you know, being put out there. Like, what is it that some of the normal people are really thinking about when they're being critical of games, or some of the other stuff that's like important for consumers, you know, what goes through their mind and stuff when they're playing games. Now, before we get into specifically this level right here, because right now, if you guys don't already know, if you didn't already see, I'm playing Freedom Planet. It's out on Nintendo Switch, it's out on PC, and I believe it's out on other platforms as well, right? And one of the things about this game, that it's one of my favorite indie games, period. One of my most favorite indie games that I love to play. Another one that I'll talk about later is Dust and Elysian Tale. But specifically, Freedom Planet for me is an interesting game because it takes a lot of stuff and a lot of inspiration from Sonic the Hedgehog, or at least the Sonic series in general. And in my personal opinion, okay, it's a game that does certain things better than what I've seen with something like Sonic Mania. And I'm going to show you the specific section of it that really stands out to me that's like really awesome. And we're going to discuss like why it's so good and why certain things is what I've noticed in certain indie games that end up doing things a little bit better than what we see from the AAA guys or what we see from other places. So let's get right into this. Okay, I'm going to try to skip over. Is it the next stage? I think it's this one. Hold on. Okay, there we go. So we're going to have to play a little bit of it here in order to get to the section that I want to get to. Because if you guys know exactly what I'm talking about, or at least if you played this game before, the section will be very familiar to you, especially if, if you played this game extensively. So what is one thing that I love about indie games? Well, I love the ability for you guys to get really, or at least for indie developers to get really, whoops. There we go. That you guys get really creative, and you have the ability and a lot of the mindset, the perspective, to really, whoops. There we go. To really get, like, really wild with some of your creativity. You know, for things that, like, we would not... Whoa. Okay, there we go. That's what I wanted. Oh, I gotta go this way. For some of the things that we just don't see from any of the other companies. Like, you guys are a lot of risk takers. You guys... Whoops. Whoa. I didn't want that. Let's go down this way. There we go. Cool. And I see this with this game in particular because even though there's like, you know, they're using like anthropomorphic animals and it's like, you know, different types of like things that we see in the Sonic series all the time. We see this in many other different types of games. It's the execution that really stands out to me. So when I'm reviewing games, one of the big things that I love to pay attention to is not just the presentation, but also a lot of the quality of life stuff. I'm a real stickler as a reviewer when it comes to the technical aspect of games. Granted, I'm someone that doesn't really make games like many of you do, but I am someone that knows a good product and knows a good presentation when I see it. And this is something that, you know, you get from a lot of consumers, obviously. You know, it's something that stands out with everybody. You know, you don't need a degree or a career of 10 plus years to really figure that out. You know what I'm saying? However, to articulate, you know, my stance on a game and stuff, that's where really things get a little bit different. So we got, like I was saying, we got presentation, we got quality of life stuff, you know, gameplay, and all the different aspects that you see a lot of reviewers dive into. Whoops. Smacked him up a few times. There we go. Anyway, it's those types of things that really stand out to me. So when you're looking at a game like this, like Freedom Planet, okay, which again, it's got elements of Sonic the Hedgehog clearly in it. However, whoops, nice. Hold on, let's smack him up. Let's smack him up. There you go. Come on, destroy him. Come on, I want to destroy him. Trying to destroy him. Trying to destroy him. Maybe I should have knocked some points off in my review for that. No, I'm just playing, okay? The thing is, even though it has a lot of inspiration from Sonic the Hedgehog, looking at the presentation, looking at things, how things move, looking at how things sound, or hearing how things sound, I should say, not looking at how things sound, but hearing how things sound, everything works very well together. And controlling it the way that it actually, again, using the controls here, just like moving around, it feels good to play. It's stuff like that that really stands out to me. Okay, now hold on, I'm trying to speed as much as I can to get to the section that I want to get to, which, again, I wish that... Whoops. Yeah, I gotta go this way, apparently. I wish that there was like a fast travel option just to get to like the specific spot I want to get to. Whoops. I think it's this way, right? It's one of those things like when you're trying to play a game, you know, for a panel and stuff, like there's no like quick button. I wish there was. I wish I had like a quick stop. I should have played it earlier. But anyway, looking at stuff like this, I mean, you see like cool things like this, which is like, you don't really get stuff like, whoa, from like Sonic the Hedgehog all that much. Whoops. Damn, I'm getting messed up here. I need to get some help. You don't get stuff like this from Sonic the Hedgehog, and it's something that I never really seen before, even in like a Sonic CD, Sonic Mania, which is really the newest game in the series, which a lot of people really love, and rightfully so. But personally for me, which you guys are going to see very soon, as soon as I get to it, as soon as, you know, kind of get things moving here, where it takes a lot of the stuff that we see in a game like that, and then just kind of like turns up the knob a little bit more. Makes it a little bit more dynamic. Makes it a little bit more along the lines of like, not like fan fiction, but like stuff that we just did not see in Sonic before. You know, the way that the characters interact with each other and other things like that. But anyway, getting back to some of the other stuff I was talking about. So, in essence though, okay, okay, hold on, let's just pass all this because I gotta deal with all this. Just say I gotta pass by all this. So here we go. And by the way, that music, for the record, you guys, you indie developers, you guys really are clever with some of your music choices. I'm just saying. Nice. Okay, whoa. Okay, it's like, some of the music is just so good, son. Oops. Okay, here we go. Fine. Did I pass it? Okay, yeah. No, it's got to do a little bit more. But it's not this boss fight section that I'm going to be talking about, really specifically what I've been referring to the entire time. It's the next one. If you guys have played this game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When the big thing, like, comes out, the big giant robot thing. It's really awesome. Nice. Okay, so anyway, it's after this section. Okay, finally we're getting someplace, right? I've been seeing streaming, really got a lot of comments on the music this weekend. Well, yeah, that's the thing, you know, when it comes to music, for all types of games, good music can really make a game really awesome, really great. Because it sets up the atmosphere. Like a lot of games that I've seen that sometimes end up getting bad scores or bad, you know, impressions is because like they neglect the music and they neglect other aspects of their presentation as well. But like really for me, the music is something that I really have a real resonance with. And there we go, we got an extra life, nice. It's something that, you know, I feel like will really kind of enhance and enrich a game's experience even more. We have perfect examples of like AAA games like, you know, Persona 5 Royal, I have to say, technically. Persona 5, we have like games like, you know, Mortal Kombat or Tekken is really the fighting game, I would say, and Street Fighter is really the series with the music and stuff. But if you want to talk about indie stuff, okay, you want to talk about indie games, Indie Pogo is another one. I mean, that one's really more about the character stuff, and the music is, it's okay. But like, other games like Dust and Elysian Tale, I think that the music really enriches that game. I think also Journey's another one. I think, yeah, we could consider Journey indie, I'm pretty sure. But Abzu is another one with its chill vibes, its chill music. It's like, again, like there's just certain aspects about those games, like when you hear it, like they just sound so good. Okay, I think we went the wrong way. I think we definitely went the wrong way. Okay, let's go up this way. Which way am I supposed to go? Am I supposed to go this way? Okay, I'm trying to remember. Oh, okay, it's this. Okay. I'm just saying. The music is the soul of Ambus. That's a good way of thinking about it. I think that music is just like the accent. It's like the extra seasoning on everything. That I just find it just works. And I think we're getting closer to the end. Okay, I think we're getting closer to it. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, okay, I gotta go through one more section and then we can finally get to it. Because then after I show you guys this section and we continue on our discussion, I'm gonna show you guys another indie game, which is another one that kind of like does something similar to, to Freedom Planet. Which, again, if you guys have ever played Fight and Rage before, especially now with Streets of Rage 4 out, it's very similar in nature. It's a final fight into that. But anyway, other things I want to talk about when it comes to reviews. You know, I look at games as total experiences. It's not really just one specific part that makes a game. It's everything working in tandem together or working in conjunction together that makes it awesome. So when you're looking at a game like Freedom Planet, okay, between the characters that have like very familiar aesthetic to them, you know, being Sonic inspired, to the music, to the presentation, to everything else, this is all stuff that comes together into a really nice package that just is awesome. Again, like you guys even see me now, I'm playing it now while I'm talking to all of you, and I'm still enjoying it. I still have enjoyed it as many times as I've played this game. And sometimes we just don't see that from many other titles, whether it's AAA or indie. And that could be really nerve-wracking because, you know, everybody wants to enjoy games, but like when certain things just stick out to you, like it feels like sometimes that little extra oomph comes from the indie scene on things that like make you look at games differently, make you feel differently about certain games, or like, you know, see things from a different light, or play it differently too. I mean, another perfect example, if anybody here is a big, Undertale fan. Whoops. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to just beat this boss because it's like right after this section. It's like so close too. There we go. We beat him. We destroyed him. Okay, but yeah. Let me see in here. Was a question. When you review games, do you play it through its entirety or just enough to develop your thoughts on it? This is a complex question. The reason being is because I'm going to stop and answer that question. The reason being why it's so complex is because it depends on the game. Now, obviously, much like a movie would, and I'll explain in a second, where I can, you know, looking at games critically to the same way that film critics look at films in the same way like that, where certain games you're just not going to be able to finish. Like there's 60, 70, 80, 90 plus hours, sometimes infinite with MMOs. But really what it comes down to, when you're playing any sort of game, whether it's indie, AAA, or whatever else, if you play a game and you feel a certain way about it, and you've actually played enough of an experience, and enough of an experience could be anything, it's really very subjective depending on who's reviewing the game, to formulate an opinion and actually like formulate a stance on it. That's when you feel like, okay, I could take a stance or I could take a perspective on it. It's not necessarily like this is the time frame that you have to complete a game in order to have a valid opinion on it. I don't believe in that. I think that, you know, you could usually tell the credibility of an opinion on a game and the person who's playing it by the way that they speak about it. You know, perfect example, I've done reviews for Freedom Planet specifically. I've done reviews on it in multiple places. Oh, okay, here we go. Here's the section that I'm talking about, okay? Here we go. If you guys remember Sonic CD, okay, the running section with the boss fight against, I think it's Metal Sonic, okay? This is heavily inspired by it. Okay, this is probably one of my most favorite indie sections in an indie game or a boss fight in a game, period. It's just one of my favorite because here we go. You see that in the background? You have the characters. You have every single main character, or most of the main characters, interacting with the boss fight here. And you have the music blasting. You have everything going on. Look at that. Look, everybody's here. This is what I love to see. This is why I play indie games. Specifically this. Like, this is an amazing section. If you have not played this section, you're getting a real treat right now. Okay, look at that. Imagine this. If this was Sonic and Tails, and in the background was Tails, Knuckles was with you, and maybe you had Amy with him, with Tails on the was it the tornado, the plane? This is perfect. This is amazing. Like, this is like an awesome boss fight. Probably the best boss fight in the game, in my personal opinion. But anyway, I'm trying to beat through it so we can get to it. Great answers to the question. Thank you. No problem. Keep those questions coming, guys, as I'm like showcasing all this stuff as I'm talking with you guys. I wanted to keep the conversation going. There we go. Boom, and it's over. Best boss fight in this game. This is the type of stuff that I love to see indie games from. Look at that. Look at everybody's here. Everybody's here. What more can you want from a mascot style game or a game that features all these mascots? Look at that. Look at that ending. That ending is awesome. That ending is awesome, and you do not see this this type of thing in a game like Sonic. I'm sorry, like I have yet to see this in a Sonic game, you know. But anyway, let me actually skip this. Whoops, let me go to the scene because we're gonna go back to the menu because we're not gonna play through the rest of the game, unfortunately. You know, we're gonna get back to our conversation, but you know, this is the type of stuff, okay, that I love to see from indie games, and that's just one example of that. You know, indie games, when it comes to being a review a critic, you know, in the way that you see it, these are like watching indie films where you start to see different types of like techniques and different types of things done that's not typically the stuff that's going to be a big seller at the box office. For you guys that are developers out there that are making indie games for various platforms, you don't have big publishers behind you and stuff, but you still are able to do cool things like that and generate an audience that'll really support your game. Some of the best indie games now, as of late, over the last couple of years, like I said, Undertale is pretty cool. What is it? I mentioned Undertale. Among Us is another one that's taking a different approach to playing games and having us interact with all the different stuff and other players and really kind of like going nuts with that type of like, you know, philosophy and approach to what makes a game a game. I would also say, again, I mentioned Dustin Elysian Tale, Fight and Rage, which we're going to look at right now. I'm actually going to go to it right now because that's another game that's heavily inspired by a classic or a classic series, quote unquote, multiple series, plural, and really kind of messes around with the formula, reinterprets it, kind of like, you know, gives it a different coat of paint and makes it something that's familiar, but really fun and really interesting and really dope to be a part of or really kind of, you know, engage with. So really, what do you get when you get down to it? What's the real difference, you know, between reviewing indie games and reviewing regular games or AAA games? There really isn't much. It's more in the enjoyment of the stuff that you see that comes out of them. Okay, look at this. This is all inspired by Capcom. Look at this. This is the Capcom boot up screen, practically. Okay, this is all straight up pulled from Capcom classic arcade games. And then you got the dope, you know, the dope intros. Gonzalo Valera. I think I pronounced it wrong, but even so, Blitzworks. But anyway, it's a lot of this stuff that you guys see that you guys get to really play around with it. Because I'm pretty sure many of the people that developed this game, that developed a lot of, other games that I've mentioned before, are all fans of some of the classics. Again, the people that are developed this game over at this developer was a game by Sebastian Garcia. I'm pretty sure Sebastian Garcia is a huge fan of Final Fight, Streets of Rage, Turtles in Time, you know, all these different types of games. Maximum Carnage, I would not be surprised either, too. But there we go. We're just going to play like through the first level. You know, I'm going to go with one of the characters. But this is the type of stuff that I love seeing, okay? Look at the animations of the character. Look at all the different quality of life stuff, the presentation of the HUD, all this different stuff. There's an aesthetic to it. There's a lot of things here that really, really, really work together nicely that are just heavily inspired by some of these old classics. So I'm looking in the chat. I see some, I see some comments here. Okay, so that is why I like playing The Messenger. The Messenger is another one that's inspired by Ninja Gaiden. Clearly, Ninja Gaiden and other Metroidvania games. That's awesome. Another thing too. What do you think is an absolute must play in any indie game, or an absolute must in any indie game? Good music, good art, polish, or what? Okay. Personally, for me, I think that quality of life should be amongst the top stuff when you're developing an indie game. If you're a developer out there, you're going to want to listen to this, okay? Your quality of life. Things need to be easy to navigate around. Things need to be easy to control, to play, to go through, to interpret, to take in, to absorb. All this stuff. If as a player, if I'm someone that does not play a lot of games, and I know nothing about games, I should be able to at least absorb a lot of your stuff within a short period of time. Some of the best games, okay? Some of the biggest classics out there, okay? And we're going to play as, we might play as Gal. Look at that, F. Norris. Yeah, we're going to play as Gal because she's the cool chick here. Okay, we're going to go with Let's Beat 'em Up normal. Yeah, we're not really doing much. We're only playing through the first stage. No. There we go. We kind of let this play out, okay? But yeah, absolute must needs to be quality of life stuff, okay? Before anything else. Your design and the way that your game plays and stuff, if somebody could easily sit down and play it, then it's all good. See, look at this. This is all Final Fight and, like, Streets of Rage. And also, I think, obviously, you know, with stuff like Scott Pilgrim versus the Worlds, you know, with the aesthetic, and also how things move, you know, that, like, smooth frame rate is so good. So I'm going to just, again, as I'm talking here, I'm just going to run through some of this stuff. You guys are going to see me beating up some things, okay? Now, besides quality of life stuff, I think that also before anything else, before story and stuff, because I think like all that stuff kind of falls into place eventually as you go along. But if I'm able to play your game easily, if I'm able to like really get behind your game and understand what it's all about within the first like couple seconds or like in a very short time, then I feel like you're gonna really kind of be able to roll with anything else. So with Fighting Rage, when I did my review of Fighting Rage, you know, besides all the other things that I mentioned, one of the best things that I loved about it was that it was so fun and easy to play. Like, look at that, I'm doing all these crazy moves, and I'm doing combos, son. You know, without having to do all sorts of like other things that were just like, you know, what was it that was like so like, you know, complex. What can indies do to catch your attention for reviews? Email you, tweet at you, have existing appeal on Steam. Basically, how do you find games and when you want to schedule for reviews? So here's a couple key things for you indie developers out there and also for PR people. There's nothing wrong with emailing people about your games. You got to tell us that you exist. I think also hitting them up on Twitter, you know, on social media is totally fine. You know, maybe not so much DMs, but like tweeting at them, you know, getting them to follow people like creators like me or writers out there for different websites to follow you, letting us know that you exist. I think that's totally fine. A lot of people are very squeamish about that, but I think that's a very good thing to do so, because how are we going to know that your game is out here, that you have a game that we might like if you don't tell us about it, you know, and besides all the advertisement. Of course, obviously, with was it places like Steam and places like, you know, other consoles like eShop, the PSN, or Xbox Live. If your game has Steam and has word of mouth from it already from a bunch of people, it's going to come across somebody's desk at some point. Somebody's going to hear about it eventually. But why not take the proactive approach? Why not be assertive about it? Why not reach out to people about it? There's nothing wrong with that. I say email is the best thing. You know, sometimes that doesn't always go through, but like, hey, email, a tweet, it's not that bad. I don't think that's a bad thing. Frank Norris, Chuck Norris's unknown brother, yes. Keep sending those questions and comments, guys, about indie games, about questions about indie reviews and stuff. Now, what is it that you should not do? I think is the more important question, right? I feel like, obviously, there's a lot of obvious things as obvious stuff when it comes to what not to do, or what is something that, you know, reviewing indie games is not a good thing, or is not a good thing about indie games, is when you have to play a lot of games that are, like, really, they don't go the distance, they don't offer, you know, something different or unique, or in the sense where it's like, okay, if you're going to just do the bare minimum, you know, why should I waste time on it? That you could say that about any game. Again, that's not just exclusive to indie games. But when it's stuff that's like, you know, not taking the full mile, when it's just like completely done like garbage and stuff, obviously that's going to stand out. And you see that with AAA games as well, you know, there just happens to be other differences there. But really, you know, when it comes to like the games, like don't make sure like the stuff that you want to look good looks good. Make sure that your game plays out very well and there's like an actual like goal to doing something. You know, you're not just wasting time as a player. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain time-wasting games which I think are fine. I think really one of the biggest time wasters, and even then it's a creative endeavor, is Minecraft. Because Minecraft, like, there's a whole creative aspect to it, but if you just want to waste time and just chill, you could do that. You know, you could just chill in the world and do all these other things. But then you have other games where it's like, I can't remember any specific names, but I've seen like other games that are like shmups, and certain things is like, there's certain aspects about it where it's just boring, it's not fun to play through, it's very, very mediocre. You don't want to be mediocre in the sense where it's like you're not showing your best and not showing something that's going to really be, you know, it's going to stand out in the way that it's like it's interesting to people. Interesting does not necessarily mean unique. Interesting does not always mean like, you know, groundbreaking. Interesting could be like this game. Again, Fighting Rage is just a beat 'em up. Like, we've had beat 'em ups for the last like 20 plus years or so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure about 20 plus years, or if not longer, because obviously NES, you know, in the 80s, there was other beat 'em ups back then, and I'm pretty sure even like in the Atari days, they had games that could count as beat 'em ups. You know, but at least it's interesting because it just is fun, and you know, it's got other stuff going on for it. It's not like, you know, there's frame skipping. You know what I mean? It's not like, you know, when I hit a button, the character doesn't do what it's supposed to do. You know, there's personality in this game. There's good controls. There's characters that I can play with, multiple characters, which are dope. Oh. So hold on, we got other stuff. So you can do Metroid, but you need to match that quality and add a twist. Well, you don't want to plagiarize, obviously. But there's other Metroidvanias out there. Look at, what is it? Oh my god. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Oh my god, I know this game too. Axiom Verge. Perfect example. That's a Metroidvania. That's got a whole nother twist to it, but it's still a Metroidvania style game, you know, in essence. You could even look at, you know, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which was pretty much, you know, Super Metroid back in the day. It still had the same general principles for that style of game, but it was doing its own thing with it. It made it interesting. It took the Castlevania motif, the Castlevania style, you know, that was adapted for the NES and the Super Nintendo, and adapted it into a totally different playstyle that offered something completely different for that series, which revitalized it, which was awesome. And you guys, basically, and again, you indie developers, do that on the regular with your stuff, because obviously you're not going to go make a Mario game if you're not with Nintendo, obviously. But there's been so many other platformers out there, okay? Let's take a look, obviously, okay? Since I guess we could go a little bit more. We could go a little bit more with this here. Let's finish this boss here. And then we'll go to, I'll show you guys Dust and Elysian Tale, which is probably one of my other favorite indie games of all time. Just so we could just showcase, you know, both games here, multiple games. There you go. Look at that. Look at that massive damage. Look at that. I'm doing stuff in the air. Again, you can't do this in Final Fight. You can't do this in Streets of Rage. I'm pretty sure you can't do it in Streets of Rage 4. You know, I'm just having fun with it, you know, making a joke and stuff. But, like, you guys understand. Ah, I got destroyed there. There we go. I come back in with an extra life. Life up. There we go. But I love stuff like this. And the boss fight is dynamic. There's multiple characters in here. There's like all this rain. There's a lot of things. Look at that. There's so many things happening at the same time. We go down this way. Try to bring him over this way. Come at me, son. Come at me, son. Look at that. Look at that. He's doing the bison little slide. You saw that? Heavy inspiration. Okay, and I see more questions there. Hold on. I'm going to get to you in 1 second. Hold on. Let's just mess up General Tiger over here, who's like a bison, diet bison, who's doing Street Fighter moves. I see Street Fighter moves in here. We're going to get him in a second. Nice. Almost done. Almost finished him. And you can only imagine how this is with co-op. Co-op, this is awesome. I played this in co-op. It's really fun. You know what would be really cool for you indie devs that love beat-em-ups and love co-op games? Try to get as close as you can to 4-player co-op ever. You know, not just locally, especially if it's online. It's freaking crisp. I'll tell you right now. But anyway, that's Fight and Rage. Yeah, which is awesome. So anyway, I see some questions in here. We're going to kind of skip over this here. We're going to go now to Dust and Elysian Tale, so I could showcase another game that's one of the games that I've really loved to review I loved to review back in the day. Because it's just, again, it's something that's so awesome. Do I have it still in here? Pretty sure I have it in here. Where's my dust? Oh, there. I'm looking dead at it. There we go. This was one of the games that made me really fall in love with indie games again, because there was just so much going for it. And then obviously the story behind Dust and Elysian Tale, with it being developed by mostly one person at Humble Hearts. So good, man. So what do you think indie games have grown a lot? Or why do you think indie games have grown a lot in the last 10 years? Because people want more variety with their games. We're tired, or at least a lot of people, for, I want to say, the last couple console generations, have been tired of seeing the same typical thing over and over again that we get from the AAA people. We know Call of Duty. We know Call of Duty ever since Call of Duty 4, even though Call of Duty's been around before then. But a lot of games, especially in the AAA space, have copied and really kind of emulated what we got from a game like Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare or Modern Warfare 2. And there's a lot of, not copy and paste, but a lot of emulation all over the place with that type of stuff. It's a formula that works, so the business aspect of it is really good. But people want to see other stuff done with their FPSs. People want to see other stuff done with their platformers that we don't get from Mario, or we don't get from other platformers we see all the time. We want to see other stuff done that's different and unique and probably a little bit more interesting that we don't get from like a Contra. This perfect segue. If anybody here in the chat, let me know in the chat if you've played Blazing Chrome before, okay? That is Contra meets Ninja Gaiden meets Double Dragon. Like, it's so... That's the epitome, another example. I don't know if I still have it installed, but that's another one, Blazing Chrome, that is exactly what I'm talking about, okay? But again, it's that different flavor. It's that different flavor that we all want to see, okay? Now, again, as a reviewer, I have to put my bias, obviously, to the side when I review games. But when I notice stuff like that, I appreciate it, and I like it a lot more. So when it's done very well, you know, it's awesome. It only helps you guys out most of the time. Well, let's resume the game. Here we go. Just going to show a little bit of, like, Dust and Elysian Tale, which is a Metroidvania, okay, in of itself. that you guys can see. But look at everything that's going on for this. Look at this is its unique style. You don't see this type of stuff, or you didn't see this type of stuff, you know, from a AAA game especially at the time this was released. Heck no, dude. Like, for real. Look how gorgeous. Look at these animations, son. Like, hold on. Where are we at? Hold on. I need to see where we are on the map. Hold on. Okay, no, I think we're close to the end. Oh yeah, no, I wanted to do this thing here because I want to travel over to the other section where I can show you guys the animations and like stuff that like really looks good. Like, look at this. Look how awesome this is. Those effects, son. How good it feels to control this character. And look at these combos I'm doing, son. Look at that. I mean, I'm even going all the way up top. Look at this. Yeah. Look, you want to do something crazy? Look at this. I'm going up against everybody, son. It's crazy. Like, this is the type of stuff I love to see. Hold on, I need to go up top. I'm trying to go over to the other section. Look at that. There we go. Now, you guys can see, look at this stuff. Look at all... Okay, hold on. First, let's deal with the mooks over here. Because I'm trying to get to the section where there's a bunch of animals that are walking around. And I want to show you guys those frames of animation that are so good. This is the type of stuff, when I was reviewing this game, I was like, oh my god, this is gorgeous. You know, and then you get like, cool, hold on, let's deal with these first. There we go. Let's talk to homeboy over here. Like, look at this. Look at these animations from just the dialogue. And normally in a non-indie game, in a AAA game or some other game, some people just put still images like what you see here. But look at that. Look at that subtlety. Look at that, just like, again, that's the character just going like this. You know, he's like waiting for you. He's like, yes, buy something. Here, check out my sales. What are you buying? It's little things like that. It's so small and technically insignificant to everything else, but it does so much for the experience, so much for your presentation. It stands out to me so much as a reviewer. That's like, yo, look at this extra. Look at the little item. Look at the items. Look, they just bouncing around. There's just like no reason for it to do that. Then you got the coins like rotating. Like, look at all this stuff going on for this. This is the cool stuff that I love to see from indie games. You know, devil's in the details. Well, devil's not in the details, but like the essence of something that's really awesome is in the details. Let's skip that. Let's continue going. Look at these backgrounds, man. Look at those backgrounds, dude. Look at that. Look at it. When you talk about great presentation, it's freaking phenomenal, son. Look at that. And then you got the characters looking badass, looking amazing. Look, even just the little items. Look at that. You see the coins just dropping like that? Look at that extra stuff. It's so like it's so like insignificant to everything. Okay, is this it? No, it's not it. Hold on. Let me deal with all these guys. Oh, watch this. Watch this. Ugh! Look at those attacks, son. Look at that. This is all happening at the same time, running smoothly, not impeding my progress, not impeding my experience. This is so good. Yeah, everybody in the chat knows how Dustin Elysian Tale is amazing. Like, it's so good because of stuff that I've been talking about. Now, is good presentation going to be just your free ticket to a high review? Of course not. Let's be real for a second. Like, as a reviewer, as a critic, you know, as someone that, like, looks at reviewing games in the same way that, like, what a Roger Ebert or Gene Siskel would look at when it comes to, the way that they look at film. Okay, hold on. No, I want to go to, where is it? I think it's the Glade. Yeah, I think it's the Glade. Okay, hold on. I want to go to the Glade. Okay, no, it's all the way. I think it's over here. I think it's over. Okay, I think I might be in the right spot because I want to show you guys that places that I was talking about. Is this way? No? Yeah, okay, yeah, I think it might be this way. Slide. Yeah, okay, hold on. I got to go all the way up top. I think... Hold on. Look at this enemy. Oh, well, I destroyed him in one hit, but, like... I'm just saying, like, it looked like a dope enemy. Nope, it's live. This is live, son. This is live, B. No, we're live, son. Okay, so hold on. Let me just double check the chat because I see so much with the chat. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. We got about 25 people in here. Hopefully we can get some more. Please share around for IWOCon. Let everybody know what's up. Say that if you're joining it. Get your questions about indie games in the chat because I love talking with you guys about this. Look at this. Look at this. This is a perfect... Oh, my God. This is I need to take a victory lap. This is a perfect example. What I'm talking about. Look at these menus, son. Look at these menus. Look at these menus, B. Look at... They got leaves falling down. How are you going to tell me there's no other games out here that have thought of this, that have made this so awesome? No other games out there are doing something like this. Like, we got interactive menus, and that's cool. But look at this freaking menu. So this is just the pause menu. This is like what you see in freaking Ghost of Tsushima. When you're walking around in Ghost of Tsushima, which, by the way, is a dope game. You have to play if you haven't. But, like, this stuff like this, man, I'm telling you, it's so good. It's so freaking good. Okay, I think we're going to the section which I think I'm pretty sure... Yeah, I think... hold on, I gotta look at the map. Hold on. See the map here. See it, because I want to get to this... Okay, I think it might be... Might be in the next area? Yeah, I think this might be... It might be in the next area, because I want to show you guys... Look at that, look at that, look at that travel right there. Yes, okay, I think this is it. Like, look at these background animations. Look at these backgrounds, the subtle movements of, like, all this stuff. Look at the character. Look at Fidget. Indie game. This is why we play indie games. This is a perfect example, or one of the epitomes of why indie games are so awesome. Obviously, I'm harping on the visuals so much, but, like, there's all these other little details. Look at the dust, quote unquote, the dust in the game called Dust of Elysian Tale, floating in the background, the pollen. Look at the meter. If you guys see that meter, that's got, like, the little animation of, like, my special meter, which is, like, Fidget's meter to do this. Look at the health meter. That's got, like, all these moving parts to it, these little details, these little things. The multiple layers of stuff going on in the background is so awesome. Look at the rabbits, son. You had me at the rabbits, B. And by the way, this is from, like, the first few minutes in the game, when you first started up. Okay, yeah, this is the beginning right here, yeah. I think it's actually, okay, no, now that I think about it, the section I want to show you guys, I think it's a little bit further. It might be a little bit further ahead, which I could go to, which I could show you guys before we jump into another game. Look at the rabbits, son. Look at all the rabbits. Look at it. Look at Thumper. It's Thumper 1 and Thumper 2. If you haven't seen Bambi, you won't get that joke, but don't worry about it. Look, we even got the butterflies. Look at all this stuff. This was done by one person, for the most part. You know, it's things like this is why people love playing certain indie games, or love going into the indie realm where we get a little bit of a different flavor from everything else. And as a reviewer, I love this stuff. Which, hold on, let's just destroy them right now. Hold on. Let's destroy them. Look at that. They're all dropping. Getting all these items and stuff. I'm trying to get a little bit further ahead to the other section, which is a little bit further down the map. Because you'll see it where they have the deers and... Oh, whoops, that's not it. It's actually down this way. The deers and other stuff that you get to see from, like, down the hill and stuff. Okay, I gotta do that. Because that's another little thing. Like, you have to clear out the area before you can move on. Okay, whoops. Now, I want to know other questions that you guys have. Again, because I feel like I don't want to repeat myself, but I also want to make sure I cover everything else in relation to reviews and indie games. Here we go. This is it. Look at this. Look at this. And then watch this. Watch this. As we move, right? They're going to follow me. I think they're going to run. They might run at one point, because I know at one point they do. Okay, look at that. They're just moving around, but, like, there's a section where they actually run and follow you as you're going to this here. Yeah, I think I got to go a little bit further, because, remember, I'm in the end game, right? Look at that. You saw that? You saw that. By the way, they're dynamic. They interact with me as I do stuff like that. So the entire area, like, just has all this stuff going on for it. Even the wind. You see? Look at this. Like, hold on. We'll just hang out on this here as I'm talking to you guys in the chat. Because, again, I want to make sure that I cover everything here, because there's a lot in the chat I want to go through here. Okay. He is so awesome. No stumbling over words or anything. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. Let me try to go up a little further. The way the animation convey wind and the air currents is really nice. Yeah, we were just saying that. Like, it's so good, man. It is so freaking good. Everybody's like, look, we got rain, son. They got rain. You saw that? I didn't know we could get that. I did not know that could happen. That's the first for me. That's a first for me. So we got rain. We got rain in this game. Okay, we got rain just showing up out of nowhere. everybody go show some love to Humble Hearts for that one. Or I think it's Noogie Tweet, I think on Twitter, that he was the one that actually made this game. We're reviewing a game, okay, with local multiplayer. Do you review with another reviewer or just play with a friend? Most of the time, personally for me, okay, when it comes to multiplayer games or games that do have multiplayer that's key to their experience and key to their package, I will normally, if I don't have another reviewer that I could hook up with and like connect with and actually review a game like that, I would actually go and get a friend, especially if it's local co-op or local multiplayer for whatever reason. I've had games early, like mad early, like before embargo and stuff, because most of you indie game developers out there know that sometimes your games go out to reviewers or to influencers and stuff, and it's before their release, and everybody has an NDA, they have an embargo and stuff. Sometimes, obviously, you're not going to be able to find players as easily, so you got to connect with other people that have the game as well. Sometimes I'll usually wait, because one of the other things that is really important, especially you even find this in indie games as well, when a game has multiplayer and the servers are not up for everybody else. Because one of the things that people are going to look at and what they're going to see, especially as a consumer, is the servers after release, especially later down the line. So when it comes to a large, a bigger game that has multiplayer, like for example, even though it's not an indie game, when I played like Call of Duty Cold War, I had to wait for the servers to go up to actually be live for everybody else. Or not Cold War, I'm sorry, Black Ops 4, I'm sorry. Because Black Ops 4 I had early before everybody else. When the servers finally go up, that's when I can actually either post up my review or really take a look at the multiplayer, see how it does with all these other players that are going to be on there at the same time, because that's going to be the typical experience of a regular person. It's stuff like that that I think that it could aid you guys as developers, because you're never going to be able to fully plan out how many people get into your game or dive into your game. So many people are going to just bombard your servers or bombard PSN, and things are obviously going to go wrong, but that's stuff that we have to look out for as reviewers. Hold on a second. Let's see. What's the name of the game that, again, I already forgot. It's Dust and Elysian Tale. I'll show you guys here. It's on the eShop, Dust and Elysian Tale. It's been on the eShop for a while. It actually first came out on the Xbox 360 on the Xbox Live. Then it jumped over to PlayStation Network, which they gave it away for PS Plus. And then now it's on the eShop. And it's also on Steam. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, it's on Steam. And I'm pretty sure you guys can pick it up for real cheap, which is awesome. Let's continue a little bit. I'm going to switch over to another indie game in a bit, which is a more recent indie game I want to give some shine to, that I actually had a lot of fun with, which is a platformer, which we're going to talk to, because we got about 20 minutes left. Whoa. We got about 20 minutes left. Whoops. There we go. Nice lightning attack. But there we go. So, all in all, like I said, I love games that are indie, for, being able to review them, for all the stuff that I mentioned before. But there's also potential, one of the benefits, at least for you guys over AAA sometimes, is that I feel like you guys are able to connect with and listen to people like me and to consumers a little bit easier because, you guys have more, everybody has social media. But it feels like, you're not having like 1,000,001 people talk to you at the same time. So you guys are able to hear certain feedback from, less amounts of people and actually take it to heart and actually adjust your stuff, which is cool because feedback is only going to help you. And I don't mean feedback where it's like, okay, like every piece of feedback you get is going to be helpful. Obviously not. That's obviously not the case. But like when you're hearing stuff from like people that play your game, fans, people that just love the genre of games that you're playing, it's always good to take that in and listen, even if it's negative. Obviously with social media being a thing, as many of you developers know, not everybody on social media is being genuine. So that's obviously you're not going to be able to use every piece of info you get, but it takes a little bit of finesse of learning which ones are the real ones that are going to help you out, or at least the ones that are going to be a benefit to you when they tell you stuff and you guys see stuff that's posted up on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, etc. So let's get to a save point. Look at that. Look at how quick we're doing that. Look at that. Look how awesome that is. Look at, we're going all the way up, son. Look at that. It's awesome. So I see another question. Hold up. Let me get to a save point real quick. I'm going to go a little bit down this way. And you guys can tell there's a lot of differences in the environment. And obviously, in other stages of the game gets even more wild, more interesting. Yeah, look at that. Look at that attack. By the way, reminder, we've been playing... oh, look at that. I leveled up. We've been playing a Metroidvania. Okay, just as a reminder, we've been playing a Metroidvania over here. It's not just, a Flash game looking type of thing or just like a platformer and stuff. No, there's a Metroidvania, son. It's a good one, too. One that has beat-em-up qualities to it, as you guys can see all the different attacks I've been doing. Like, watch this. Hold on. Let me... Oh, I was going to hit him up. Well, they see. Gonna do an air attack. Because look at this. Look at air attack. Oh, damn it. I can't do it because I keep killing them with one hit because I'm so powerful. But you guys get the idea. Hey, yo, what up, Sin Arthur? We see you lurking in there. Oh, come on, where's the save point? I'm surprised there's no save point. I think I passed it. Did I pass it? Oh, damn. Chain broken. Okay, hold on. Let's just continue going because I think I passed it. Yeah, I definitely passed it. I just probably over the other side because I just passed it. This game is all sorts of reminding me of Demon Blade on the Wii combat. Oh, you mean Muramasa the Demon Blade, which Muramasa, I don't know if we could necessarily consider Muramasa a Demon Blade indie. I think it would be third party, right? Or am I wrong on that? Could be wrong on that. But either way, you guys get the idea. Okay. So anyway, looking at it here, I see another question. What kind of game genre do you feel can do well again for today's audience, or one that should get a reboot or a new take on it? That's interesting. I want to see more fighting games done by indies. Okay, and I want them to see them become successful, because one of the big genres right now that's dominated by AAA is fighting games, because we got Street Fighter, we have Mortal Kombat, we have Tekken, we have Blaze Blue, Dragon Ball Fighters. There's no other indie games that I could think of that have really made it into the mainstream that could actually be played at EVO. I feel like that's something that could be really, really good. Okay, as someone, again, I could see it now. Was it Erg Pug Bus or IR Pug Bus? He's like, the fighting game. What is it? FGC intensifies. Yes, because I am a fan of the fighting game community. I've done panels at other events about the fighting game community and about fighting games in general. But fighting games is a genre that I haven't seen a lot of indie games really thrive, because the bigger games out there, the bigger AAA titles, are the ones that get the most airtime, and that needs to change. You guys, hopefully somebody at one point could develop a fighting game that really does some interesting stuff that stands out from everybody else and could get played at EVO. That'll be awesome. Or CEO, or Super Battle Opera, etc. Whatever the case may be. Now, obviously, there are exceptions to this. There are certain games that have that same type of philosophy or approach to them, with FGC stuff in mind. Not necessarily like pure fighting games, but like other stuff like Dive Kick, stuff like Indie Pogo. If you guys have never played Indie Pogo, especially as indie developers, you got homework tonight. Go download Indie Pogo on Steam, okay? The reason being is because it takes a lot of different indie game characters and mashes them up like Super Smash Brothers, and it puts a twist on it where it's not like how PlayStation All-Stars did things. Everybody's on pogo sticks. Everybody's like jumping around, and it plays it like a fighter like Smash Brothers, but everybody's on the pogo sticks. And it's really fun. It's really, 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 really fun. I did not a presentation, but I did some, videos on that, I think in the past on my YouTube channel. By the way, you guys can see all the links and stuff as well. If you guys are curious about other stuff involving me with indie games, check out the YouTube channel. Follow me on Twitter if you haven't already done so. Doing a little shameless plug there. But all that different stuff. But there's really, the fighting game genre is the genre that I feel like needs the most indie love right now. Because we have indie game shooters. We have indie game platformers. We have indie game RPGs. We have a lot of indie game RPGs. We had one recently that came out besides Undertale. That was, I'm trying to remember the name of it. Oh my god. I think it's Chrono. Oh my god. It was on Steam. It's on the eShop. Oh my god. I'm going to blank on this name. I'm pretty sure somebody can know. Somebody in the chat might know, but it came out within the last couple of months, if not a little bit longer. It was on Steam and it was on the eShop. And it plays a little bit kind of like an action RPG. I cannot remember the name of it, but it'll come anyway. Hour a day gamers plug away. Don't worry, I'm going to plug, son. There's a big plug right in the bottom of the stream. So hopefully if you guys are enjoying this, show me some love as well. It'd be cool. But anyway, let's also switch it up. Let's go to a different game. I'm going to show you guys the other game I was referring to. You guys love Ghosts and Goblins? Ghosts and Goblins, Ghouls and Ghosts? There's a cool one there. Where is it? This guy over here. This one over here. Hades. Hades is considered indie because it's Super Giant Games. This was one of my picks for Game of the Year last year. And the reason being is because it is so freaking good to play. That's the main reason why, and it has so many things going for it because I love Supergiant Games. I'm a big fan of Bastion. I'm a big fan of Pyre. I helped write the IGN wiki guide on Pyre back in the day when it first came out. I love Transistor. This game, these peeps are so good. Okay, Supergiant Games is awesome. Okay, so we're gonna do a run of Hades as I'm talking about it with you guys. Again, Hades is the bomb. I'm telling you right now, if it wasn't for The Last of Us Part 2 and if it wasn't for Ghost of Tsushima and Final Fantasy VII Remake, Hades would have been up there. Hades would have been up there as one of my picks for Game of the Year, son. It was so freaking good, son. It was so good. Now, one of the things that I think that Hades does right, okay, that I really like, is that this is a roguelike, right? So it's a genre that a lot of people don't usually engage with, or at least, I'm talking about the main masses of people, because obviously there's an audience for every type of game out there. That's not what I'm saying. What I am talking about, okay, is like a lot of like the mainstream people that don't play a lot of games, they don't really engage with a roguelike as much, okay? Because there are games that do get popularity, that do well for certain stuff. However, that's a new, yeah, you know what? Let's get the new weapon. Let's try this out. Let's try the new weapon out. Okay, yeah, look at that. It's awesome. Okay, so hold on. We got this uppercut. Got the pummel right here. Oh, I could just hold it. Okay, I didn't know that. But anyway, dashing. Okay, hold on. I didn't want to do that. Where is it? I'm trying to remember my buttons. Trying to remember my buttons in here. Hold on. I'm trying to remember all the dash or upper strike. Okay, there it is. It's A. Okay, there we go. Nice. Okay, so cool. Let's do this run of Hades as I'm talking. But yeah, it takes a genre that really a lot of people haven't really engaged with in the mainstream like that, and adds in all these extra layers to it, and really kind of makes it something fun and different to play around with. Because there's other roguelikes that I've loved, like Rogue Legacy has been pretty good. I'm trying to think, what was the other one that I was playing like a couple months ago? Oh my god. There's so many games, it's just like I keep forgetting, because again, I'm trying to think of what to say too. Okay. But there's been a lot of different ones here. Dash goes lightning, cast, attacks emit chain lightning. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, yeah. Look at that. Look at that. Just beatdowns, son. Just beatdowns with freaking Hades' son over here. But, yeah, I just love it that, like, this is a different type of roguelike that we could actually play through. And what I really think also that people could gravitate with if they're not huge fans of the gameplay, which they should be, because this, look at this. Like, I'm doing all types of cool stuff in here. Like, it just feels good to dash around like that. Like, look at that. Just, that was like, what, 2 seconds? Like, not even. In here. Which is cool. So look at that. Now we got more enemies. Look at it. It just is so fluid. It's so fluid, son. Look at that. Yes. Hold on. Let's go with this homeboy over here. Whoops. And I keep running into the switch there. I don't want to do that. Nice. Almost done there. It's just like, again, there's all these different things. You have the gameplay of Hades, but you also have the story, the characters, the design, the way that things are kind of, just presented differently. Yeah, we got all this stuff. Nice. Let's go with some more shadow, or you know what, more keys. No, let's go with some more shadow, because we can always use the more level up stuff. This game looks vibrant yet dark, hard to pull off, I think. You know where that comes from? Good design, good character design, and good atmosphere. Well, not atmosphere. I shouldn't say atmosphere, because atmosphere to me is like what you get from a game like, not Five Nights at Freddy's. What is it? Resident Evil has good atmosphere. Resident Evil 2 Remake specifically. Also I'm trying to think of like Outlast, as a horror game. Outlast is a good one. Nice, sweet. Okay, so hold on. Where's the door? Okay, here we go. Pomegranate. Cool. Loving the look of this. I haven't played it yet myself. Hour a day gamer, you have to get this game. You have to get Hades. And the reason why you got to get Hades is because it's one of the best games of 2020 that did not win best game of 2020. For real. Like the top 5 games of 2020, I would say Hades is among them. I would say Final Fantasy VII Remake. I would say Ghost of Tsushima, The Last of Us Part 2. Was it Hades and Animal Crossing? Some people would also say Among Us, but Among Us, for me personally, again, that's just my personal opinion, Among Us came out the year prior to it. I think it was. Yeah, I think it was the year prior to it. So I can't consider that personally for me for 2020 specifically, but it was a significant game for 2020 though. So we got a couple minutes. I'm going to open this up to questions now as I'm kind of like playing through this here, because things are starting to wind down and I want to, leave a little bit of room for the next person to do their upcoming stream. I want to make sure that that's show some love to them. Okay? But yeah. Among Us only gained popularity last year. Yeah, that's true. Outlast, one of the creepiest games last year. Yeah, that's true. Definitely. Okay, environmental design is awesome too. Yeah, environmental design can really, a good environmental design can really help out, set out, like, again, just really round out a presentation. Besides the music and stuff, it's the stuff you're doing in that environment. If like, even if it's not memorable, you remember the areas because of the moments you have in there. So if it's all well put together, it's really nice. It's really good. So, Faithful Twist, let me grab that. Also grab yeah, then do that, and then life essence. Okay, cool. Yeah, so probably go a few more rooms because we're almost done here for the panel. But again, get those questions in really big time. Okay, get those questions in. Okay, I want to see some comments, concerns, all types of stuff. Look at this. This is a room, by the way, that doesn't have any enemies in it, and I could just like interact. I could smash stuff. I could dash around. I could interact with the spirits that are in here. Look at that. I could swipe at the spirits and they just go away. Like, again, it's that extra level of detail, extra level of love. Sweet. And then let's go to Karen. Here's the Karen section that I could show you guys, which is really cool. Okay. Times flies thinking about Among Us as being so popular recently. Yeah. Is the no enemy room like a training one? No, it's a recovery room. Because remember, this is a roguelike where every single room that you end up going to is a little bit different compared to your previous playthrough. And going to those rooms like that allows you to recover health. And then this one allows you to buy stuff. Let's talk to this man right over here. So this dude right here, he's pretty awesome. So I think we got all this stuff here. We don't need to buy anything. We don't have enough cash or anything like that. But we end up going to this room. So you know what? No, let's leave her right here. Chill with Hades. Chill with Carrion. I want to see what else we got in here. In the chat, we got a couple minutes left. Get those questions in, son. Going to get those last group of questions in before the stream is over. Again, I want to thank IWOCon and everybody else, Andrew and everybody else for having me be on here. Thank you so much for allowing me to talk about indie games, talk about indie game reviews, and other stuff with everybody here. Of course, please show some love. Follow me on Twitter at Jakejames Lugo. Follow me on Instagram at Jakejames Lugo as well. Follow me on YouTube. Again, subscribe to the YouTube channel where I review every single type of game, indie, AAA, whatever else, almost every single week. YouTube.com/gamerswithgains, or just search Jake James Lugo in the search bar on YouTube. And then also I have a Patreon. If you guys want to join my Patreon, help fund some of my work, help allow me to do even more bigger projects, Patreon's right there. I usually have stuff at like $1 level, etc. For everybody just to join, I have a Discord server you could join, show some love, and all that stuff. Question: if a dev reaches out for a review but doesn't provide a key, do you go buy it or move on to another game? I think that if you're going to reach out to a reviewer and you're going to reach out to an influencer, you should have the ability to give them a game, because that's how they're going to be able to check it out. They're going to review it. They're going to be able to tell their audience about it. I think that when a reviewer or an influencer comes to you as a dev, you don't necessarily have to provide them with a game. I think that if you're reaching out to them, though, you should have keys to give to them, especially if it's on multiple platforms. I think you should always ask and offer it. There's nothing wrong with that. What needs to be in a dev's message for you to get curious about it? First, say hello. Okay, that's important. Tell me what your game is, what your game is about. Okay. Offer a code if you can, which if possible. If you're not able to, I can understand, but I think you should be able to if you're reaching out to people. Offer to put on a press list, to keep in the know about a game, which I think is very important. I try to keep on every press list I could get because, everybody could tell me about their games. I could connect with people later down the line after I reviewed something from them. A lot of different things, which is very important. Stuff like that I think is always good, especially if you can keep in contact over Twitter, over email, over Instagram, over Facebook. And check out their YouTube channel. Again, not just my own, with other influencers and other reviewers. If they have a YouTube channel, it's good to see other work that they do, because sometimes they might not just review your game. Sometimes I'll review a game, but then I'll go do like a JJ's First 20 video on it, where it's just me talking about the game and playing the game for a little bit for my audience, or streaming it on Twitch. There's a bunch of different stuff you could do, man. But yeah, so I think that's about wrapping it up. We're about to hit 7 o'clock now. So again, thank you so much for checking out this presentation with me. Thank you so much for watching the stream. I really appreciate everybody showing some love. Again, there's all my links there, all my stuff that I mentioned before. If you guys, again, I'm pretty sure they shared it in the chat already. But thank you so much for watching this presentation about indie game reviews and everything else. Peace out and stay epic, everybody. Hope you guys have a good IWOCon. I'll see you guys again soon.